I am the Irish guy, and Jurgen Klopp is gone. Finito. No more. The poor man is dead. Wait, what? You mean he's not? Oh, but I haven't seen Twitter like this since the Queen. No, thankfully Jurgen is still alive and well. I hope I didn't panic his grandkids. But tomorrow morning, his postman is probably going to be on the verge of a heart attack because the amount of thank you cards he's going to receive. I mean, he might as well be on his deathbed with polio because everyone, and I mean everyone, are going to be swooning for the German in a big love bubble. Liverpool fans probably feel like they've just been dumped, and not even in a horrible way where they get to get angry. This isn't like catching your wife in bed with the milkman. No, this is just her calmly telling you that she no longer has the energy to put up with you constantly slurping your tea and spilling cat poo on the rug. But lads, what has Jurgen Klopp done? But lads, today I'm probably the only person on the internet who is going to be having a go at Jurgen. And I know what you're thinking.
Not the time nor the place.
Yeah, a bit like storming down the aisle at your grandma's funeral, spitting at her coffin and telling everyone in the crowd that she used to kidnap children on Halloween. Why do you think you kept tasting fingers when she served you pie? Well lads, what has he done? What is he doing? Jurgen! Earth to Jurgen! What is going on? 4 days ago, I did a video apologizing to Klopp because I had once accused him of being burnt out and that he needed to leave Liverpool. This was me on Monday.
I am sorry, Jurgen Klopp. 3 years ago, I thought Klopp was finished, that he was burnt out, done. We had seen this happen before at Borussia Dortmund. But again, Klopp, I apologize.
Oh, clearly I was wrong. Clearly I was saying so many delusional things. You'd swear I was Buzz Lightyear when he thought he could fly. I was wrong, right? Yeah. 4 days later, Klopp is announcing that he's quitting due to a lack of energy. The comment section of that video were flooded with people saying, "In Klopp we trust." Did I just chuck a giant curse at him? Did my apology send ripples through the footballing universe, forcing the German to wake up one morning and feel more exhausted than someone who just given birth to triplets on a plane? I have seen a lot of different managers come and go in the Premier League, but for me, it seems that once every 5 or 6 years, a departure is announced that literally takes my breath away. September 2007. Jose Mourinho leaves Chelsea. In that moment, trying to take in that news, it was a bit like my mother just sat me down and told me that Santa Claus had just eaten my dog. In May 2013, Sir Alex Ferguson announces that he's stepping down as Manchester United manager. Again, that was more shocking than if I'd walked into the kitchen and seen an alien eating a bowl of shreddies. Arsene Wenger announces he's leaving Arsenal in April 2018. Again, what? I had never ever seen anyone else in charge of Arsenal. It was going to feel strange. A bit like being 25 years old and suddenly being adopted by some creepy witch who lives under a bridge, barbecuing stray cats for lunch. Look, this is different to Fergie and Wenger quitting because I have seen other men in charge of Liverpool. But, I mean, not since I've been on YouTube. I've never made a single video about Liverpool playing under anyone else but Klopp. This is strange and it is shocking. But I also think it is wrong. The timing of this announcement is terrible. Absolutely dreadful. I feel for Liverpool fans. I really do. This is like your parents telling you they're about to separate halfway through Christmas Day. Oh, excuse me when I sob into my turkey sandwich. Wenger announced his bombshell news a month before the season ended, when Arsenal were already on the top 4 race and were just concentrating on trying to finish above Burnley in the league. Yes, they had a Europa League semi-final against Atletico Madrid still to play, but that was it. When Ferguson announced his retirement, he had already sewn up the Premier League title. With Fergie, he had made up his mind to leave in the Christmas of 2012 to spend more time with his wife, but he didn't announce it then. Not at Christmas, no. He didn't want to screw up the team's title bid, take attention away from the players, scramble their emotions. When Ferguson left, it broke the dressing room. Can you imagine if he announced that in January? Suddenly the players would be distraught. Robin van Persie was absolutely on fire, but he'd only joined Manchester United so he could play under this living legend. Can you imagine the state of his mind in the spring, wondering what exactly he just committed 4 years of his life to? You might think that I've no proof that Manchester United would have shown sloppiness on the pitch if they knew. Oh, don't I? He announced his retirement on the 8th of May. A week later, Man United were shipping 5 goals at West Brom. 5-2 up. They drew 5-5 in one of the most stupid Premier League games of all time. It was basically like last day of school, where you can ditch your uniform for a cow onesie, sit at the back of the class smoking a pipe and chucking muffins at the teacher's head. Nobody's really gonna care. There's no consequences. I mean, what was Fergie gonna do? Track down Phil Jones on his holiday to Magaluf? Lads, chucking the incessant rumors about who was going to replace this legend of a boss. Man United had none of that annoying, unhelpful speculation because David Moyes was announced the very next day. When there's speculation out there, the players are going going through an emotional withdrawal for months. They are worried about who's going to be the manager for next season. Do they want to sign new contracts? Do they want to leave? What's going to happen next? Is this the beginning of the end? To me, this whole thing is a mess. This has happened at Liverpool before. January 2015, Steven Gerrard announced he was leaving Anfield in the summer. I mean, did that help the team? It was about as helpful as if I started tripping up old ladies at the airport. His own head was emotionally scrambled. Of course it was. This man who was sent off against Manchester United 1 minute after coming on as a sub, forcing him to apologise to the media after the match. That was a game where he was ruled by emotion. And same for Sir Alex Ferguson when Man United lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League in 2013. He didn't even do a post-match interview. He was that distraught. Because he knew that was his last chance, he was so desperate to win, he was making weird calls like leaving Wayne Rooney on the bench. And similarly for Gerrard, he stamped on Herrera after, 30 seconds? I mean, Liverpool's form fell off a cliff. They lost to Crystal Palace in Gerrard's final home match, probably because they were so stiff and scared of letting him down. And then in his last ever game for Liverpool, they were 5-0 down at halftime to Stoke. I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me that these premature decisions do not cause freak sloppy results. I mean, Ferguson and Gerrard are two overbearing, larger-than-life presences at the two biggest clubs in England. Yeah, their final matches there, their teams were letting West Brom score 5 and Stoke score 6. I mean, what? Gerrard also had to endure a sickly, nauseating, Disney-esque final 6 months where every stadium in England was clapping him off the pitch as if he was a pensioner in a wheelchair waiting to die. He was so sick of it that by April that he was actually slagging off the Chelsea fans for doing that. I mean, to be fair, that club had pretty much ruined his life. I remember the narratives being spun in the second half of the season. Suddenly the team were under such a huge weight of pressure on them to win an FA Cup for Stevie. Not for themselves, not for Liverpool, no, for Steven Gerrard. The pressure was so huge, losing an FA Cup semi-final to Aston Villa. An Aston Villa team who were just 1 year away from finishing bottom of the league. They were also dumped out of the Europa League by Besiktas, where Jordan Henderson, his own head still reeling from the Gerrard news because he knew that all eyes were now on him as being the next captain. He was now just showing the world that he had the backbone of a pigeon by sheepishly letting Mario Balotelli take the penalty away from him. Henderson was the designated taker, and yet he was bullied by Balotelli to such an extent. I'm surprised Mario didn't demand his lunch money and give him a wedgie after the match. All of that was blown up in the media, bigger than it should have been, because everyone knew Gerrard was leaving and Henderson was the next king. And back then, trying to take Henderson seriously as captain was a bit like trying to take Toman Baratheon seriously as king. Such an out-of-date reference. My point is, it didn't help. Gerrard should have said goodbye in May, not January. It's awkward, so awkward. It's been like you're at a party. You look like you're going to leave. You hug everyone goodbye, and then you just hang around in the corner for 3 more hours, angrily sipping Sprite and spitting at the Xbox. It's all just a bit strange. Klopp has announced this way too early. The whole thing with Liverpool and Klopp is that it's them against the world. Same with Fergie and Man United. He wanted to avoid 6 months of getting shallow standing ovations from respectful rival fans because it dilutes the tension that players need. Are the Liverpool players really going to have the hunger to destroy rival teams when the supporters are clapping Klopp? It's confusing. It doesn't work. I'm telling you now. 6th of April at Old Trafford. This should be a toe-curling, almost evil, spiteful match between these clubs. But I know that Man United fans would just show respect to Klopp, which is not helpful for our title run-in. When has a legendary player or manager announced their decision to leave 6 months in advance? When has that ever worked out? Ever? Pep Guardiola was exhausted and burnt out of Barcelona, yes, but he announced his decision to quit on the 27th of April 2012, after they'd already lost their Champions League semi-final to Chelsea, after they just lost to Real Madrid at home, pretty much confirming they were now out of the title race. Their season was done. Fine. He knew that he was leaving in the Christmas of 2011, but he kept his mouth shut. His timing was a bit off in Germany though, when he announced in December 2015 that he would leave. Not only that, but in February, he was already announced as the next Man City boss. Surprise, surprise, Bayern did not win the Champions League, just limply dumped out in the semis by an average Atletico Madrid. These 6-month in advance departures do not work. They just don't, I promise you that. But the future. You know what's so strange? 12th of October 2023, and I published this video.
This man must be a Liverpool manager in 2024.
Play the clip.
Liverpool Chiefs should right now be flying to Germany and camping on Xabi Alonso's lawn. Xabi Alonso is the only man for Liverpool. The only one. Go on, name me an alternative. There isn't one. I'm not saying Klopp deserves to walk, but what's the alternative? If he stays until the end of his contract in 2026, and Alonso has since gone on to win the Champions League with Real Madrid, cementing himself as the future dominant manager in this scene, then it's too late. Xabi Alonso is your get-out-of-jail-free card. He is the man to replace Klopp. He is the only man. He just is. If you don't act next summer, you're going to lose your chance forever. And that might just destroy your club when Klopp does leave.
What? Have I actually managed to predict this? Apparently Klopp made this decision in November, a month after this video. Did he watch this on the internet? Nah, he'd probably sooner watch beavers making love. Well, lads, this is exactly why if I'm a Liverpool fan, I ain't that upset. Don't get me wrong. If I was a Liverpool fan, yeah, I would feel sad. But this isn't as big of a disaster as it was for Manchester United fans in 2013. Yes, when Fergie left, with the power of hindsight, the club should have hired a short-term interim. They should have made Jurgen Klopp the huge priority. He didn't want to leave Dortmund in 2013. Fine. Stick in a 2-year interim coach instead. Someone like Gus Hiddink, just to keep the Manchester United seat warm from 2013 to 2015. Just waiting. Forever waiting for Klopp. It would have been perfect. I mean, he resigned as Anzi Makhwashala boss in July 2013. He would have been the perfect choice. I mean, he was linked with Man United job when Fergie first talked about retiring in 2002, and then in 2015 he could have stepped away and given Klopp the reins. That was the perfect thing to do. But you know, you decided to rush out and hire the Everton boss instead. Why? Because he was also Scottish? There were no obvious Manchester United candidates who already had a link to the club, because all of their ex-players turned managers were complete average stale cookies like Steve Bruce, Mark Hughes and Laurent Blanc. But Liverpool have a ready-made connection with Alonso, someone who has scored in the Champions League final for them as they won the thing. He's got Bayer Leverkusen top of the Bundesliga, still yet to lose a match. This all sounds like very Klopp-esque stuff at Dortmund, but in a completely different way. This seems to be more about tactical brilliance, because Xabi is not a maniac on the sidelines. He looks like he wouldn't even shout, even if his wife accidentally chucked hot coffee on his groin. He's a mild-mannered, suave, tactical genius. So yeah, I mean, would be a huge difference to Klopp, but this is the man to get. And if you can't get him, then Jose Mourinho, anyone? Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know what do you am I talking absolute pig waffle? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give a like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.